This video is brought to you by SkillShare. Use the link below to get your first month free. So to start, let's grab a Voronoi texture and with Node Wrangler enabled, Control-Shift-Click to get the mapping and texture coordinate nodes. Let's use the object coordinates and plug that into the vector. Now, add a color ramp and plug the distance into the factor. So to view the node, let's Control-Shift-Click and now we can view what we are editing. Let's start by changing the Voronoi to Smooth F1 and the scale to something like 34. Great, now let's add some contrast by crunching the sliders in on the color ramp until we get our desired look. Awesome, so now let's add some color. I'm going to duplicate the color ramp and Control-Shift-Left-Click to view it. This will be our base color. The first color stop I'll change to an orange, and the second color stop I will change to a slightly lighter orange. So now we need to mix the base color and the speckled dots together. So let's grab a mix RGB and connect the base color ramp into color 1 and the speckled color ramp into color 2. I'm also going to change the mixing mode to multiply, and I'm going to clamp the node. Finally, let's change the factor from 0.5 all the way to 1. Great, so now we have the color of the clay. Now let's create the roughness. Let's add a geometry node and a color ramp. I'll plug the pointiness into the color ramp and the color ramp into the roughness. So to hone in the look of our clay, let's view the color ramp and start crunching the sliders together. I find that changing the color to a light gray helps to sell the effect as well. Alright, moving on, let's add a bump node and I'll plug the color ramp into the height so that our speckles are showing some more detail. Then I'll plug the normal into the normal socket. You can see the effect is a bit too strong, so I'll change the strength at something like 0.07. To sell the effect even more, I'll add another layer of bump detail. So let's grab a noise texture and press Ctrl-T to grab the mapping and texture coordinates. Let's change the coordinate to object, and now I'll duplicate the bump node. Plug the factor into the height and change the scale to something like 3.3. Now for the final touch. Let's add on some displacement. So I'll grab a Musgrave texture and plug the object coordinates into the vector. Then I'll get a mix RGB, plug the height into color 1 and the object coordinate into color 2. Now I'll pull the factor across to around 0.9. From here I'll grab a mapping node, plug the mix into the vector, and place the mapping node into a Voronoi texture. From there I'll get a color ramp to get some contrast on the texture, and I'll dial in the scale as well. Lastly, I'll get a displacement node and plug the color ramp into the height, then plug the displacement into the material output. I've changed the scale to 0.08, and now we need to ensure displacement is available. So in the right hand side, click on your material properties and scroll down to settings, and make sure that the displacement is set to displacement and bump. Now that it's working properly, I'll hone in the look and make the mid-level 0, and this will give me the result that I'm looking for. And that's the material. Super quick and just with a few nodes. Don't forget to grab your free month of SkillShare with the link below. Have an awesome day and thanks for watching.